finally, Rob Greenlee.
Thank you. I think part of what makes SOM so special is the sense of community that we foster within each class, but also across the student body. Alan Booter was a member of the class of '83 and a leader who engaged the hearts, the minds, and the spirit of each of our class members. I want to read just a bit from the nomination that we had done for Alan, which over 30 of our classmates had submitted. Alan was eminently successful in a very competitive creative industry and shared his expertise with any SOMer who knocked on his door. He reached out to all SOMers, regardless of his schedule, and in later years, regardless of his debilitating illness. He was remarkably generous with his time and his connections to the industry. In an official alumni capacity, Alan served on the SOMA Board of Directors, was an alumni interviewer for the admissions office, hired SOM students for internships, and provided advice for introductions to SOM alums or their children interested in film, video, animation in the Bay Area. The outpouring of remembrances after Alan's recent passing is a testimonial to his everlasting contributions to the early alumni of the school and will remain a legacy forever. I'm very pleased to give this award to Alan Booter, class of '83, and I'd like to have Fred Richards come up to accept it on Alan's behalf.
Thank you. I'm Fred Wittridge. I'm another member of the great class of 1983. Alan had a huge heart and really did tie us together as a group. And it was quite wonderful to see the outpouring from all of our classmates after he died in January to nominate him and second him and 30th him for this award. So I wanted to share two stories which were my stories with Alan, which I think really epitomize him and show you what he was made of. He and I were tied for last and second last in managerial accounting with a lady named Corinne T. Norgard, who taught 4 hours of managerial accounting once a week in the building between the Pizza Huts there. And a note went down the back row where we were all seated saying, put on your largest lapel, oldest suit and appear at Maury's. And we've got an important event. So the back row never returned to the class after the break. And that was the inauguration, really at Alan's behest, of something called the Blue Sky Club. And every year for 29 years, we've gotten together, all 8 of us, and presented ideas as big as God's blue sky to each other, which had to be whimsical and had to make a lot of money for the Blue Sky Club and had to also benefit society. So there were projects, there were all sorts of things, and these started as dinners in the Harvard Club, where else would a bunch of Yale SOM people meet. And later, as Alan got more and more debilitated with this mast cell disease, we had to meet between his chemo treatments in his home at breakfast. And that's the second story that I had, which was I said to Alan that I was feeling low, and he had just come back from chemo, and he said, well, what are you reading? And I said, well, I'm reading some mystery novels. And he said, well, I'm actually trying to write a novel, and I'm taking an online course because I can't go to class. And I arrived home later, and there was a whole box of books of the author that Alan had told me about. And he died not long after that. So to Alan, on behalf of the Booter family, thank you. Thank you also from the class of '83, and thank you especially from the Blue Sky Club.